Hi, here we are again, Felicity and Roger, and we're discussing now a question about step two. Step two says, realize we don't have a life, we are life. And I'm wondering how you read that statement. I think we can call it a spiritual teaching. It's a step.
Yeah, shall we read it out?
Yeah, please do.
So, most of us arrive in this world radiant and pure and kind. As the years go by, however, life's knocks accumulate and our radiance and purity can diminish. We gather hurts and dust on the mirror of our heart-mind. I call consciousness heart-mind because it is one. Because it is one dynamic inner self, not two or more.
Yes. Okay, that's great. So, I mean, how does that resonate with you, Felicity? The idea that we don't have a life, which is what, the phrase, "oh, get a life," means. We either got one and we haven't got one in that sense. But it's rather different, isn't it, if we say we are life?
Yes, to experience yourself as life is a phenomenal difference between talking about yourself as having life. And one is an incredible, joyful, diving in, full body, almost unputting into wordsable experience.
Yeah.
And the other is watching it all behind glass.
Right.
And to turn that "we are life" phrase from theory into practice is a lifelong endeavour for me.
Right.
To stop going behind the glass, to stop thinking of myself as one thing and my life as another, and to just be life, like be here now, the power of now, is for me and my ego a very difficult. Not always. When I'm in life, when I am life, I remember it afterwards. If you know what I mean,
right?
Like
yes.
when in childbirth or something, when you're absolutely totally present,
right.
You think, oh gosh, I disappeared at
right.
that point.
Right.
I was life.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be something. It can be as, sitting and having a coffee in a cafe. You disappear.
Right. Yes.
And then you realise you've woken up again, or you've gone
right.
back to sleep again. I can't quite put it in.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
The what is it that disappears, and what is it that is there?
Yes.
After the disappearance.
Yes, it's fantastic. Isn't it? I remember Ram Dass having an acid experience before he became Ram Dass, saying that his whole body actually physically disappeared to the point where he didn't have. All he was his thoughts, and he couldn't see his body at all. And actually, that's a very visual description of what happens when you become life. You disappear into it. You become boundaryless almost, and yet physically you are there. You are present.
So does that mean that life flows through everything? I mean, it's not difficult to imagine that childbirth is a kind of flowing of life.
Absolutely,
because
yeah.
it's a bifurcation of mother and child that once was one and now are two.
Yes.
So does life flow through rocks or plants? Animals is easier.
Yes, it is, isn't it? That's. I suppose I know that it does. I know that the energy of life is as present in this table as it is in your eye. It's just in a different manifestation, and that the energy that holds us all together is one.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
Yes.
But it's hard to go beyond the theory, to actually live in that reality that I and chair are one.
Yeah. I've recently rediscovered Deepak Chopra, and some of his latest presentations, and they're on YouTube, are just absolutely brilliant on that subject. So most of us arrive in this world radiant and pure and kind. Do you accept that, at least for the averagely lucky baby
Yes.
whose mother is reasonably healthy and so on?
Yes.
And the next thing that we said in the second step is, as the years go by, however life's knocks accumulate and
Yes.
our radiance and purity gets dimmed.
They do.
Does
they
that
do.
does that stand up to your experience?
It does, and I can see it in my children, in my 8-year-old and my 5-year-old. You know that you can almost see sometimes. You can see the colours washing out of them a little bit when certain things happen. You know, there was an incident with my 8-year-old, and I could just see her turn a little bit grey. You know, the aura and her energy just dipped, and from instead of being this sort of rainbow collision of colours and love and laughter, you know, it just, the veil. I could see the veil come down. You know,
Just as an example, what might have been happening for her when you can see that in her? Is she something that's made her unhappy?
yes, yeah. I mean, it was in this particular situation. It was bullying at school.
Okay.
You know, and that made something that was quite wonderful for her suddenly very horrible.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. So that's part of life.